Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream with Evolution Designs. I am super excited for today because we are going to be talking about retainer clients, which is my favorite thing to talk about, and it is the biggest piece of my business. So just so you guys know, I currently work with 4 retainer clients, which brings me to around $12,000 to $13,000 guaranteed every single month. But the best part about retainer clients is you also have the ability to scale those up because that is just the scope of work that you originally identified. There's also the opportunity to be able to upsell them and do more things throughout your relationship because of what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So today's live stream is actually going to be part 1 of 5. We're only going to do part 1 on this YouTube channel. So you are going to get the first section of our How to Land Retainer Clients lesson. So the first section is going to be how to attract them. That's what this live stream is going to be about today. The other 4 lessons, which we're going to walk through in a second together, the other 4 lessons are actually going to be inside our Paid Content Creators Academy because they're so good. They're so deep. They're so just golden knowledge nuggets for you guys. So I highly recommend, if you are not already in the PCCA, I'll go ahead and drop a link below. This will raise the price, just so you know. So when I am getting this out, it is September 19th. We're going to raise the price for this on October 1st because all of these new retainer modules are going to be in the course now. So if you are watching this before October 1st, you're going to get our normal pricing. If you're seeing this live stream after October 1st, you're going to get the new pricing. Just be mindful of that. If you've been looking for a reason to go ahead and dive in now, this is it. Because these all 5 parts are going to be in the Paid Content Creators Academy by the end of this week. And then you have about 2 weeks to get the locked in price that we're currently at before it raises in October. With that said, let me go ahead and share my screen real fast. So basically what I'm calling these modules is the real UGC goal retainer clients. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the other screen just so I can see what you guys see. And here is the 5-step process to what we are basically going to go over in the PCCA together. It's a 5-part kind of system that I personally use. And today on this live stream, we are going to be focusing only on attract. Okay. Then in the PCCA, we are going to be going over pitch, land, manage, and retain. Now, it's kind of funny whenever I say retain retainers, people kind of laugh at that. But retain or retention just means to keep them going. So instead of only having a retainer for like 90 days, how do we get them into a longer one? How do we work with them for 6 months? How do we work with them for 12 months, etc.? So today we are going to be focusing on this live stream on the attract phase number 1. So getting into the attracting retainer clients, basically how this is going to go today is we are going to go over different things that I personally use and my clients and my students personally use to actually get people to acknowledge that they even offer retainers and long-term partnerships in the first place. So the first way that we are going to be able to do that is we need to understand why someone would want to hire a creator long-term in the first place. And here are some reasons that I kind of put down. And the reason why I'm giving you all of this information is because you need to be able to speak on these things when the time comes. All right. So facial recognition is really key here, because if someone sees your video once and then they see your video again on another ad, and then they see your video again on another ad, as you are walking them through the customer journey, which we'll get into today, don't worry, as you're walking them through the customer journey on that brand's account, they're going to recognize you. So it's going to be very beneficial for the brand to have that consistency and ability to recognize the brand by recognizing your face. There's also no need for incessant onboarding of new people over and over again if you are working with someone long-term. So you are giving them that convenience aspect of not having alignment issues. So like if someone gives you a script and you do the script wrong or something, you can fix that in the very early beginning stages. But if that's something that like people should be doing over and over again, you know, like if they get 50 creators a month that they're just like cycling through, that's 50 onboarding potentials. That is 50 alignment issue potentials. So that's another reason why people would want to work with someone or someone's long term. It makes it easier for you, not just them, it makes it easier for you to make good content going forward because you're really having a great understanding of the brand itself, or the product, or the goals of their campaigns, whatever it is. So it's a lot easier for you guys to go back and forth on things. And it's a lot less revisions most of the time because you already know what you're doing with them. Especially after that first, second, or third video or campaign that you've done with them, you kind of know what they expect. You kind of know what works in their content, stuff like that. So a lot less revisions for them as well, which again is a convenience aspect. The last thing is you have one point of contact. So again, convenience of communication. So they're not having to not only do onboarding for 50 creators, not only having potential revisions for 50 creators, not only having potential alignment issues with 50 creators, but they also only have to talk to one. So that is another reason why someone would want to hire a creator long-term. Next up in the attract stage is you're also going to want to understand the goals behind campaigns that brands are potentially going to want to do and being able to speak intelligently on them. That is what is going to set you apart from everybody else who just wants to basically get paid for making videos. So if you do not understand why certain pieces of content help certain campaigns perform better than others, it's going to be hard to convince someone to want to work with you long term because you're not just selling videos at that point. You're selling a strategy. You're selling a partnership. You're selling a collaboration long term. You're selling the ability to basically brainstorm with them back and forth based on what has worked for them in the past. If you guys do not know how to do this, we're going to go over a little bit of the marketing funnel today on this live stream. But I also highly recommend, like I mentioned, getting into the Paid Content Creators Academy, where I go very in depth on the branding piece of it, because I am a client who hires multiple creators on a monthly basis for my clients. And I know exactly what clients and brands are looking for because I have to be the one that looks for them. All right. Moving on, like I mentioned to the content marketing funnel. This is something that you guys are going to need to become very, very familiar with in order to really be able to land retainer clients. The first part, usually a marketing funnel is like 4 to 5 pieces long, but we are going to be focusing on basically getting them to the sale. So how do we as UGC creators fit in to a brand's content marketing funnel? I'm going to tell you guys today. So the first one is going to be called top of funnel, or what I like to call TOFU, and then MOFU and BOFU. Ignore me if you don't like that. But the top of funnel is going to be casting out a really, really wide net to a bunch of people. That's why it's an inverted triangle, right? So we're casting out a wide net to a bunch of people on top to attract new leads, get exposure, get brand awareness. That is the goal of our top of funnel content. Then we're going to come down a little bit in our inverted triangle, which means we're going to lose a couple of people up here that were on the top, and we're going to filter them down a little bit, make them more qualified in our middle of funnel. In the middle of funnel, we are going to be nurturing these leads that we attracted at the top of funnel. We're also going to be educating these leads. So we're going to basically take the big, big, big net that we cast, and we're going to get those fish. Let's just call them fish. We said tofu, so we might as well, right? So let's say we have a big old net of fish up here, and then we want to kind of get a couple of the fishies that are already dead or that might not be good for us. We don't really like the way they taste, whatever, then we're going to pop them down to the middle of funnel. The final piece of our inverted triangle is the bottom of funnel. So it's very simple. Top, middle, bottom should be easy to understand. And the bottom of funnel is going to be an even smaller but more qualified group of people. And we are going to be intentionally converting leads into customers, into sales, into whatever is the goal of the campaign at this point. Okay. So I say all of that to give you guys a very big understanding, high level understanding. Please go on YouTube, type in content marketing funnel. You'll get like way, way, way more in-depth things on this. Again, if you also want to join PCCA, there are going to be a couple things in there as well. But just so you can kind of understand how this works for brands, now I'm going to show you what we can do to make this happen for them. So attracting new leads, that's that top big casting net thingy, right? So a couple of things, I just got to give us 3 different examples, 3 examples of what we could do. Sorry, my chair's a little squeaky. 3 examples of what we can do UGC wise to attract new leads in the top of funnel is you can do a problem aware, relatable skit. So this could be something that basically lets you know, like, this was the problem that I had. This was the solution, which is the product, the brand, whatever. And then you kind of do a skit on it. So there's that entertaining factor that's going to attract new leads. It's going to get exposure to a lot of people. You could also do a lifestyle or product in action clips. So those are the things that's like you're putting on the skincare, you're using the microphone, whatever it is, right? So you're kind of like just giving them a behind the scenes of what it looks like in action to actually utilize this asset, product, whatever it is. The next thing could be micro education. So we're not going to go deep in here because all we're trying to do is attract. All we're trying to do is get someone interested and intrigued to potentially be able to see the next piece of content as we build down the funnel that is going to make them want to, again, go down the funnel themselves. So not big education, not 60 to 90 second educational or tutorials or anything. But if we can do like a did you know, or have you heard, or this statistic in this industry, those micro education type of videos can do really well in our TOFU, our top of funnel. Moving on to MOFU, our middle of funnel, nurtures and educating leads. This is the ideal situation for what we want to do to the leads that we originally hit with the first video that got interested in us. They were intrigued by us. Now they want to learn a little bit more. In this stage, we can do testimonials and storytelling style reviews for the product, brand, whatever it is. Again, we can do tutorials. I mentioned we're not going to do that top of funnel. That's going to be more of the middle. We're going to do tutorials or how-to walkthroughs of the app, of the SaaS platform, of how to use the curling iron. Excuse me. Then we're also going to potentially want to do a comparison, like why I chose this over this. So let's just say if we're doing microphones, for example, like why I chose this PD 200X microphone for my podcast versus this DJ1, I think is what it's called, or DJI lavalier mic for when I'm recording outside. So kind of something of that nature that you could do that takes them from the original top of funnel, kind of brings them down a little bit. The last one, the bottom of funnel, our BOFU, is going to be, you can do an urgency and offer highlight video, a direct call to action demo. So kind of like what you see on those TikTok shop videos that's like, here's the thing, you guys love it, whatever, made it really easy for you guys, click that orange shopping cart below to grab yours today. That is a direct call to action demo. And then the last one would be customer proof and social validation. So if you can give as much social proof as possible in a video that basically doesn't just show, but actually tells, and doesn't just say that you like this, but gives other feedback from others, that's going to do really, really well in bottom of funnel for UGC. All right. Hope all of that makes sense. I will go ahead and give you guys this PDF in this live stream so you can come back and, build off of this if you'd like. And then obviously for anybody who is watching this that is in the PCCA, you will have all 5 of the documents that you can go through and on top of our modules as well. All right, so moving on to attract for showcasing different content types. This is something really, really important because a lot of people are just doing like the standard UGC video that's 15 to 30 seconds long. They're really not doing much for the client themselves. They're doing for the video. So they're doing that one thing and then they're moving on. And that's one way to live your life if you'd like, but that's going to make you have to do like 50 different clients on a monthly basis. So if we instead can build out things that show what content types go into these different stages of the marketing funnel, and we can speak very eloquently and intelligently on them, which hopefully you guys are able to now because I just walked you through it, then you should be able to attract these people through your content, through your portfolio, whatever it is. So what I put here is add marketing funnel phases. This is a hot tip, and I'm putting this as a free live stream for everybody on YouTube. You don't have to pay for this attract section or phase 1 of our 5-phase retainer clients modules. But this is probably the hottest tip that you're going to get today. In your portfolio, if you can actually build out a section that says like marketing funnel phases or content marketing funnel, what's the word I'm looking for? Like moving through the content marketing funnel, whatever it is, right? However you want to do that. If you can pop that in your portfolio and show different content types for each, that is going to 100% immediately set you apart from the competition. I personally review UGC portfolios on a weekly basis from hundreds of different people across the world. And I have not seen one person do this yet. That's why I'm telling you guys to do it, because I'm the only one that actually has this in my portfolio. So I highly recommend that you guys jump on this too. The best way to do this is going to be pick one client or one product. And by the way, you don't have to be working with this client to do this. This could be mock examples. But what you're going to want to do is make one example of a top of funnel, one example of a middle of funnel, and one example of a bottom of funnel. So let's just say you come back up to this list and you choose one from each of these buckets for the product or for the client, and then you build an entire page in your portfolio, because my people usually build their portfolios in Canva. So you go ahead and build that entire page right there in your portfolio, guiding them through each of the individual stages. So they're going to be able to see when they open your portfolio that you know what the hell you're talking about, that you know what creative strategy is. You're not just making videos to get paid. You are taking them along the journey. You're taking their customer potentially along the journey. That is going to allow you not only to land at least 3 videos per client, because they want all 3 of them with your face, remembering that facial recognition piece, but it also is going to encourage them to work with you longer term or bring you back at least for future campaigns. Highly recommend go ahead and recreate that concept. So the one TOFU, one MOFU, one BOFU, go ahead and build those examples across 3 to 4 different clients or products. What I really, really want you to do is focus on different industries for these. So it could be like, let's just say we have, our page on Canva. It could be one video, arrow, second video, arrow, third video, arrow, and then it could say TOFU, MOFU, but don't actually use my acronym, just top of funnel. And then you can have those 3, and then right below it, your second client, exact same thing. Right below it, your third client, exact same thing. This is going to 100% change the way that people see you whenever they see your portfolio. It's going to change your positioning. It's going to change the ability for them to understand who you are and what you really bring to the table. So this is going to level up your portfolio immediately. So please go ahead and jump on this. Next up in our attract section for today is, not only do we want to be putting this stuff out in the world on our portfolios, but what if someone hasn't seen our portfolio yet? What is going to attract them to even look at our portfolio? We want to go ahead and start promoting content on our social pages in a very intentional retainer / long form partnership relationship basis, in order to do that, we want to explain the marketing funnel and where UGC fits into the puzzle and why. That is very, very easy stuff to pop on your Instagram, on your TikTok, on your YouTube, whatever. Once you understand it, you can start speaking on it. And once you can start speaking on it, people are going to see you as a different level of expert rather than, again, just a video creator. I also want you to spotlight different content examples from your own portfolio related to each stage of the funnel. So let's say, you make those examples that we had right up here. So you're going to do one example per each of the phases for a client. Go ahead and upload those to your social channels, as long as, of course, they're good enough, obviously. And then once you do, in the caption, go ahead and talk about why you chose that for that client top of funnel. And maybe even do text overlay on the video itself. So right when someone opens up the video, or when they're swiping and they swipe to your video, you could put top of funnel UGC example, and that in the blank whatever industry. Something like that is going to stop a marketing person in their tracks, or a brand owner in their tracks. You could also do this the other way without having to make your own content. I do highly recommend making your own content and promoting it, but you can also, while you're making your own content, spotlight others creating content. And then you can break the intention by just doing a green screen. You can break the intention of each of their individuals down. Each of their individual videos down. What is the intention behind creating it? Where do you believe this video fits into a marketing funnel for a client? Speaking about all of this different stuff on your page is going to elevate you, again, as a creative strategist rather than just a creator, which is someone that people are going to want to work long-term with. Okay. Next up, we want to directly speak about your reasons and or your desires for long-term collaborations. So why are these important to you? The answer should not be because I make more money and my money is consistent. Yeah, that's a really big one, obviously, but that's something that we talk about behind the scenes. That's not something that we want to be putting out there into the world to have these brands see that and then just be like, well, yeah, but like, I don't want to give you money if you don't tell me why I need to give you money. So what I like to put here is if a client or a potential client does not know that you offer long-term collaborations or packages or whatever as a service, they will not ask it of you. So you need to be speaking on it however you can, wherever you can. So creating content, again, on your socials related to why you prefer to do long-term collabs over one-off gigs, adding this verbiage plus a discount for long-term gigs to your portfolio, adding this verbiage plus a discount to your pitches, and then adding CTA verbiage to your bios or your about section on socials as well. So for example, if you're on Instagram and it's like, want to work with me, click below, see my portfolio, click below, adjust that CTA to be like looking for 2 long-term creative partners. Click below. Like something of that nature could be a way that you directly speak about your reasons and desires for long-term collabs and actually let them know that you even offer this in the first place before they reach out to you. All right, moving on to moving on to content again. What we want to think about doing is, this is going to be the easiest thing that you guys can do today, that you could probably make money with this if you do it appropriately and you do it the right way by the end of this week. You should be able to make some sort of money here. You want to propose all current and past clients for an extended collaboration. And that doesn't mean just one video, but it could mean 30 days, by the way. So it could be like a 1 month partnership. That's going to be the easiest one to lock them into fastest. If you want to go ahead and get them locked in for October, for example, that's a really, really good way to do it. But I would recommend, if you can, offering that, but then offering the conversation to be opened for longer term as well. Because the easiest and cheapest clients that you guys are ever going to be able to get are the ones that you've already served well, or you are currently serving well right now. So for some reason, like my words were off. So one you've already served well, or one you already have. Ignore that. It's like who you are serving right now well. So who is a current client, and then who is a past client that you served well. However, what you don't want to do is just go to those people and be like, do you guys want to work together more? Or would you like to work together for October? That's not going to land you a retainer client. They need to be able to do as minimal work as possible. And you need to do as maximum work as possible so that they can do the minimal work, so that you can actually show them that you are ready for this long term. You are ready for a strategy relationship. You are ready for, again, a relationship rather than just someone creating videos for them. So they should only, during this experience with you, they should only have to examine your pricing and then like what kind of budget they have for it. They should only have to really speak with their team about what you've proposed, and they should only say yes or no. Like those are the 3 things that they should be responsible for. You have to be responsible for the rest of it. So in order to do this, like you see, you have to be able to do the work for them. Okay, so with that, that is all I have today for Attract. We're going to move into pitching next. However, if you are watching this live stream, this is the end of this particular training. However, when I say you have to do the work for them, I do want to elaborate on that a little bit. Whenever I say do the work for them, you need to be able to come up with like seasonal campaigns. You need to understand what is important to them so that you can pitch them for the upcoming time. So for example, we're about to lean into Q4 right now, Q4 being one of the hugest sales times in the world for e-commerce brands. So being able to know that and get in front of them and give them a plan of action relating to their marketing funnel that we went over today is going to be super easy for them to say yes, rather than you being like, would you like to work together? And then they're like, no. Like that's just a very closed-ended question. It's instead going to be very powerful for you to say, hey, I went ahead and built out a Q4 kind of content calendar for us. These have done well for us over the past couple of weeks. I think if we double down on this strategy, this is going to be very beneficial. Here is the 3-part 4 video per month proposal. Let me know if this is something you guys are interested in. If not, you can just keep this content calendar for free. Like, that is going to be so easy for them to say yes to. Or they get a freebie from you, which is going to be an added layer of value, which is going to make them want to come back to you later. Okay. So with that said, guys, we are going to dive into that so much deeper. We're going to get into that in the pitching phase, this next kind of video that you guys are going to watch. So if you're watching this live stream today, I hope you enjoyed the Attract phase 1 of landing retainer clients. And if you are interested in joining PCCA so that you can see the remainder of the 5 sections or 5 phases, I'll drop that in the pinned comment as well as the description of this video. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys. I'm heading out to Costa Rica next week. I'm actually working with some retainer clients, like while I'm there doing some content for them. I'm super excited about. But I'm going to go to Costa Rica next week, so there will be no live stream on this channel, but we will have all 5 phases of this like how to land, and how to keep retainer clients in the PCCA by the end of this week before I leave. So if you guys have any questions about anything that we went over today, feel free to drop them in the comments of this video and I'll get back to you. If there's anything you would like me to deeper dive on, whether it be on a future live stream or on a future video on my page, feel free to let me know as well. But with that said, I will see you guys in 2 weeks and I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. See ya.